Hello everyone and welcome back to Make Your Mind. This is the finished sculpt. It is now done. So let me go ahead and grab my little black walnut pedestal here for display. If you got to see the two videos beforehand of me actually making this sculpt, thank you so much for watching those. And here's your reward. Let's show it off, shall we? The showcase for Djarin, also known as The Mandalorian. Here he is. This is absolutely awesome. Look at this, man. There's a lot of detail in this sculpt. As you can see, I tried to put as much detail as I could in this. Took a lot of work. But thankfully, all of you came along for the ride. You were all able to see this sculpt from start and to the middle phase and up until the final details that you saw on part 2 of my previews. But as you can see, I got as much detail into this sculpt as I can. I got his shoulder strap. I've also got his, as you can see here, I got the holes here for the whistling birds. I have his flamethrower on this side. I even have the little blue triangles right here for the top of his gauntlets. I got the pouch right here. I have his holster for his blaster that he's holding right now. And then of course I've got the jetpack. I didn't show this being made. This one was kind of a wild card. I initially was going to do the entire cape like he did on some of the earlier parts of Season 1, before he actually got the jetpack from the armorer. But, come on. If it's Mandalorian, he's got to have his jetpack. And I got to watch out for the jets right there. But it's got all the little things. It's got the little antenna right here and the other button right here. And then this is where normally the rocket would go, but that's, so far, only Boba Fett has a jetpack, at least in the show, that actually has a rocket launcher on it. And I got as much detail as I could. As you can see, I got the sigil right there for the Clan of Two, which is both Din Djarin and Grogu. I also have his fairly light-colored shoes, which a lot of people didn't know. His shoes were actually very lightly colored, and most of his armor, up until this point, when his appearance came in Book of Boba Fett, most of his armor is actually covered in Beskar. So he is pretty much fully kitted out, especially with thermal detonators and certain different types of sensors and weapons. And one of the Pride weapons that I started making in the part 2, but have now finished, the Disintegration Rifle. I finally got that brass look that I really wanted, that had that look. It almost looks like a Western, almost like a Sharp's carbine, but with this sort of tuner fork on the front. That's the best way I could describe it. But this is the rifle that he uses in Season 1 to disintegrate Jawas. And that was one of the things, especially in Empire Strikes Back, when Vader looks at Boba Fett and goes, "No disintegration." He's completely talking about the Mandalorians. They're the only ones that had disintegrating rifles. It has this little strap right here that goes around the back, and all those little details right there. What a sweet rifle. It's so cool. And I tried to make it as close to as tall as he was. So there's the Disintegration Rifle, and then the latest weapon, one that he actually earned by defeating Moff Gideon in battle, the Darksaber. This is one of the latest weapons that he has, and it's unlike any vibro blade that Din Djarin has ever used. Especially since this blade, it gets heavier with every swing, and you have to learn to fight with the blade, not against the blade. Just like the armorer says in the show. A little bit of spoilers here. But he earns the Darksaber from defeating Moff Gideon, and then eventually, I'm assuming that Bo-Katan is going to fight Din Djarin for the Darksaber. Because of course, whoever wields the Darksaber becomes the leader of Mandalore. Because, of course, it was Tar Vizsla who was the first and only Mandalorian Jedi who actually created the Darksaber. The Mandalorians were widely known for creating basically better versions of existing weapons, and this was essentially the better Mandalorian version of a lightsaber. And in many respects, the Darksaber is actually the most powerful of all of the lightsabers. I mean, that is to be debated, but it's the only one that can heat up and eventually cut through Beskar, which lightsabers can't do that, because it has so much concentrated power within that sort of almost Tonto style, almost samurai style blade. That's just one of the coolest things. But here, just to make it interesting, let me see if I can pose Din. Close his hand just like that. I'll have him pose. With the Darksaber. That's too cool. I was getting out of Star Wars as of late, but man, The Mandalorian has just sucked me right back in. And for those of you who don't know, this is not the first Mandalorian sculpture that I've done. The first Star Wars sculpture I actually did was of the creature that I created from Chapter 9, The Marshal, from Mandalorian Season 2, which was Episode 1. And it was the Crate Dragon, the dragon that eventually the Mandalorian slays in order to regain, essentially, Boba Fett's armor. And then that plot begins. Sorry, his arm is like trying to fall down here real quick. Let me bring the Darksaber back in. There we go. As you can see, the Darksaber is quite heavy. It's literally trying... Yep, see? That's how heavy it is. It tries to pull his arm off. Let's see here. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. But while I do that, you can click the link right up on the top right here. And that will actually take you to my video that I did. I did 2 videos. I did one video where I did the Crate Dragon, and then I did another video where I did the subspecies of the Crate Dragon known as the Canyon Crate Dragon, which was more a sort of Mandalorian-based concept video. Of course, both those videos will be appearing on the top right. And I'm just trying to pose this. Once again, this wax clay is not the best to work with, but it's a lot of fun. All right, Mando, let's put you down. There you go. And then there you have it, everyone. This is Din Djarin, the Mandalorian. If you like sculptures like this and you want to see me do more characters even from the Mandalorian, because there was another character that came out in Episode 6, and I'll be honest, that's gonna be the next sculpture. There was a character that came back from the Clone Wars, and was one of my favorite characters from the show. Because I very much, that's the one thing I really do love. I was a fan of Firefly when it came out back in the early 2000s. And then, of course, the movie Serenity that came out a couple years later, because it was this sort of like sci-fi, galaxy-based Western. And The Mandalorian has so much of this Western vibe that I definitely want to I want to make the next character. So stay tuned next week. I'm going to be doing a couple of preview videos showing how I do it, and then a sculpture showcase just like this at the very end. So with all of that, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy content like this, don't forget to leave a like down below, and remember to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss the next video. Of course, you can also check out my Instagram, which the link will be down in the description. You can also see all of the links to everything on my channel page. I post pictures early for the sculptures on my Instagram, and then I also have a paypal.me if you wish to donate directly to the channel. Anything that you contribute would be greatly appreciated. And I did have an Etsy store at one time. The link was in the description below, but nobody was really paying attention. So if you want to see that Etsy store back, just let me know. And just leave a comment down below if you want me to reopen the Etsy store. So with that, thank you all so much for watching this video. Tune in next week for another character from Star Wars, one of my more favorite ones, who is another bounty hunter, but has a little bit more, a little more grit, especially with his breathing apparatus. I probably just gave it away. But whatever, I'm having fun. You guys are going to love what comes next. And with that, thank you all for watching. I will see all of you for the next sculpture here on Make Your Mind.